Hey guys, what's going on? So today in this video we are here talking about Texas rig stick worms. Mainly just talking about stick worms in general, how to fish them, my favorite ways of fishing them, other people's favorite ways of fishing them. I'll tell you a quick story here in a little bit about how my mom caught her personal best using these, how my dad and mom both usually fish them, how I normally fish them, and so on. There's actually a little bass sitting here and a few inches of water. We'll see if he'll bite this stick worm. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to because he didn't. So anyway, a couple different ways that I personally like to fish them. Ooh, there's the school. Okay, so you guys see this right here. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but there's thousands of tiny baby bass right here. Thousands of them, and there's a bass right there protecting them from bluegill. There is literally just a dark mass of baby bass right here. I'm going to try to get as close as I possibly can down to where you guys can see them. You guys see them all? Well, I hope you guys can see those. They're very tiny. They're literally like millimeters long. They're not even inches. They're very, very small. There's thousands of them sitting in here. I hope you guys can see them. You guys see them little ripples? That's them hitting the top of the water. There's thousands of them right here. And there's a bass that has been kind of blocking them from getting out too far from the bluegill, because there is a boatload of bluegill out here messing with them, trying to eat them. So we'll leave them alone. We won't try to catch that fish. We'll go over here and maybe try to catch a different fish or just make a video. Ha! But anyway, so there's a couple bluegill there actually. But anyway, so my personal favorite way of fishing the stick worm is cast it out. My favorite way is on either a light or non-weighted Texas rig. Casting it out, let it sink to the bottom, then pop it up a few times, let it drop. Pop it up a few times, let it drop. Just like that. Now my mom and dad, they've always fished it like this. They've casted it out, let it sink a little bit to where they couldn't see it, and then they just slow roll it. Just like this. You guys can see the reel there. Let me turn the camera down a little bit to where you guys can see the reel, just like this. Just slow rolling it, you know, a foot under the surface maybe. My dad's even caught some reeling it across the surface, and he's had some pretty good blow-ups before. I've seen him come up after it. Pretty cool to watch. But anyway, those are the two favorite ways of my family to fish these. Now, there's a lot of different people that like to wacky rig them. We're sitting here, we're talking about Texas rigging, though. I personally have never had no luck fishing a wacky rig senko. I've had luck fishing wacky rig trick worms and wacky rig finesse worms, but no luck fishing a wacky rig senko. Actually, you know what? That's not true. I have caught one fish on a wacky rig senko. So I guess I can't say that I haven't caught one on it. But anyway, like I was saying, we're talking about Texas rigs. So why do I personally like to throw a bullet weight, a light bullet weight like this on mine? The reason why is I like to have contact with the weight and worm at all times. Mainly just because of I can feel the bites a little bit better. Now, if you were reeling it like my mom and dad do, which is one of the reasons that my mom and dad like to reel these worms in through the water, is because it's basically like a swim bait. You're going to feel the bite no matter what. And even if you don't feel the bite, you'll feel the resistance and you'll set the hook. It's basically foolproof. I mean, even, you know, a 7-year-old could use it. Because a 7-year-old has. My brother has actually caught a fish using this the same way. He's reeling the senko in, and it's caught a fish. So, you know, even, you know, a younger kid can do it. It's fairly easy. All you got to teach them to do is let it sink down a little ways and start reeling. It's foolproof. And as soon as that fish hits, you know, you just slam the hook home, and 99% of the time you're going to have them. So another thing that I like to do with it is having the peg the peg, like I was saying, and I kind of went off the rail a little bit, started talking about other things. But like I was saying about the peg, is I like to peg my sinkers just so I'll have a little bit more contact with not only the worm, but also the weight. Something that I've had a little bit of bad luck with is using a weight that was on up the line and ended up losing a couple fish because I never felt the bite, and I feel the weight sometimes and I'll think it's a bite. Especially for younger people, if you're just now getting into Texas rig fishing, invest in some weights. Now invest in some pegs if you can. There's some weight places, like if you buy some bullet weights, they'll come with pegs. And another thing you can do is just go to Walmart and buy some of those bobber stoppers. Just for like normal bluegill and crappie fishing, you can use those as well. That bass is still over there guarding those fry. I can see the bass from here. We'll walk out here so we don't spook them. You guys see that? I hope you guys can see that. And fry are sitting there touching the top of the water and making a whole bunch of riffles. There's literally just thousands of them right there. I hope that the camera catches this because it's really cool. There's actually two bass protecting them. Actually, there's a male and probably the female. As there's a motorcycle with a very loud radio going off on the highway. But anyway, like I was saying, I personally like to peg my weights. You can use bobber stoppers. This orange bobber stopper actually came from the bobbers that I won in the Michael Fuller giveaway that I won a while back. This is actually one of the bobber stoppers. And another thing is a lot of people don't use colored bobber stoppers. And now a lot of people do that because they don't want the fish to see them. But if you're in a little bit muddier water and you're using, say, a black with, you know, some orange spike it or something, and you got that orange bobber stopper, the fish can see that bobber stopper a little bit better. Sorry, kind of stuttered there. But they can see that bobber stopper better, and it will help them see that bait. And then when they see that bait, they can bite it. But yeah, I personally like to bounce it off the bottom real slowly. And another thing, like I was saying earlier, about using smaller weights. Actually, you know what? I said that when I was not making a video. But when you're using a smaller weight and you're fishing in a little bit more grassy lake, if there's a lot of grass in your lake and down on the bottom, if you're using a smaller weight, it'll help that bait stay off the grass a little bit better, and it can really help your hookup ratio. And it'll also help your bait stay out of the grass. It'll kind of, sometimes if your grass is really thick on the bottom, that weight is so light that it'll sit on top of the grass, and then fish that are in the grass or over the grass eating bluegill and stuff will see that bait sitting on top of the grass, and they'll think it's like a dying bluegill or something, and they'll come up and whack it. It's pretty cool to see that for those fry though. I have a loop in my line and I'm going to try to cast it out. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It did not. Actually, it did. Cool. But anyway, like I was saying though, I normally fish it with either a very light or no weight at all, just for a little bit more natural look, and it just works a little bit better. Sometimes you can fish it with a weightless hook if you want to, or a weighted hook, excuse me. Fish it with a weighted hook as well. I've done that, and I've caught fish using that. My dad has as well, using swim bait hooks for stickworms. So anyway, I hope y'all like this video. I think I kind of went over everything that I like to do in this video. I might actually come back out here with my fly rod and do a bit of bluegill fishing. See if I can get some of these big gills. Try to look at this school. Look at this school of fry. There's just a giant school of fry right here. I don't see the bass unless the bass is just a little bit further out, maybe chasing off bluegill or something, but there is just a black mass of fry right there. And there's some over here too. They're all along this bank right here. Pretty cool though. So anyway, like I said, I hope y'all like this video. I hope y'all learned a little bit of something from this video. There will be some other in-depth videos coming out this week. Do I have a fish? Nope, I don't. But anyway, there was the bass. There's the bass. He's right there chasing bluegill off. But anyway, I hope y'all like this video. If you do, make sure you smash the like button. And also subscribe if you haven't already. I noticed I'm kind of losing subscribers, and I don't know why. I don't actually think it's YouTube this time. I actually think it's actually people unsubscribing from my channel. I don't know why, though. But if you do find something wrong with my channel and you want to unsubscribe, let me know why. That way I can try to make my channel a little bit better. So, thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments whether you want to see another in-depth video on another bait. I know the Fly Fishing Ninja is now getting into lure videos, so if you want to see anything and you want to learn a little bit something about a certain bait, let me know, and I will surely do a video on it. So bye.